Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is the town of Foresthome in the world of Enthador. And this is also Dwarf Fortress, version 0.43. And we are being attacked by a vile force of darkness. This video is taking place immediately after the end of the last one. And what an interesting vile force it is. Let's press enter here and take a look at these people, because I'm seeing things that are definitely not goblin-y. There's a hammer dwarf. We have a human recruit. There's an elf spearman, a pike dwarf, and then some dwarven recruits. So this is one of those multicultural forces like what attacked Sandpillar at the beginning. That's so interesting. And there's a guy standing right on the lever. Who is that? Kusaha. So Kusaha, would you do me the solid of pulling that lever? And now, actually, it's very important that you do that. Alright, you know what? I had people out there setting up statues, so one of them might have died. But it looks like not. It looks like everybody's okay. Yeah. It appears that everyone is okay. And because this is happening immediately after the last episode, you know that I haven't solved my well problem, and it doesn't look like they've been used yet. I guess I won't know for sure until they need to be used, like someone's injured or something. But that's really a bummer, that the well has to be immediately above the water. Alright, let's take a look at what we got coming after us here. Of course, a bunch of trolls and a bunch of beak dogs. We're used to that, right? It used to be that the goblins would ride the beak dogs. I don't know if they're doing that now. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be able to know if they were or not. The goblins used to do all kinds of stuff. They used to come on mounts. Sometimes they would come on crazy, like, flying mounts. So no one really impressive. But the weird thing is just all the multicultural stuff here. Of course, I don't see the... Oh, there we go. There's the elf, the pike dwarf, the human recruit. Recruit. Interesting. And the dwarf is leading the charge. What a jerk. Alright. Bone Queen's bolts. You're on. Let's do this thing. Let's take out that human. There we go. Yep, he's the first one they shoot at. Alright, bolts are flying everywhere, and... What just happened? Proserpina has become a militia commander. Well, no kidding. She always was. Alright, cool. Everybody's shooting. The melee dwarves are still practicing, which is interesting because none of them have weapons or armor, although I am working on making that. That'll have to wait for next episode, I suppose. I did make a whole bunch of leather stuff. Apparently that's all done. So they should have leather armor ready to go. I'm just not going to waste your time with it. Alright, so while we're doing this, let's profile a dwarf. So last time we profiled Potatosaurus. This time we're going to do 214. Mehak. M-E-H-A-A-C. Alright, Mahak. Let's take a look at you. Mahak is unassigned and currently has no job. It's idle. It's no good. His last name is Glaze Skin. And Mahak has a kill. A human in 151 and a goblin in 151. That's about the same time that Sandpillar was getting started. Mahak's older sister, Rakust Arasavu's pike dwarf, is either a merchant or attacking our fortress right now. Interesting. Jasso, older sister. Reinhard's an uncle. Eilard is a cousin. Bravad the Wise is a cousin. Potatosaurus. Oh, wow. He's a cousin of Potatosaurus who was just profiled. Hunter. Hunter the Green Lion. See, I love that cool profession name. That's a cousin. And Swain Forkbeard and Raven, also cousins. Then we have a bunch of friends. Like Zorro the Great, Kitty Cat, down here. No grudges, which is good. And not a religious man, it looks like. Or woman. And she feels good, too. Everyone in our fortress feels really good, and I think that's fantastic. She feels euphoric due to inebriation and vengeful when joining an existing conflict. She feels pleasure near a fine paved road and feels vengeful when joining another existing conflict. Okay. She liked a fine seat, a fine table. She was annoyed after having to drink without using a goblet. That's true, I need to make some goblets. Bitter after getting into an argument, and bitter after getting into an argument again, and grouchy when caught in the rain. She's 35, born on the 10th of Sandstone. Let's see, her hair is extremely long, her ears are somewhat narrow, her hair is mahogany, her dark peach skin is slightly wrinkled, despite being only 35 years old, and her eyes are emerald. Ooh, that'll match the emeralds that we are digging out from under the ground. Mahak likes cobaltite, bronze, indigo, tourmaline, crystal glass, the color rust, skinks for their colorful tongues, spinach for their leaves, and the sound of the fragrances of rhyme. When possible, she prefers to consume fisherberry wine, and she absolutely detests purring maggots. She has a great intuition and a great musical sense. Well, maybe Mahak, you can be one of our performers one of these days. We done shooting? Everybody's too far away? Yeah, we're taking the occasional pot shot. No one's really around the fortress except for here in the front. So while we're waiting, let's get our military actually situated. I think that's a good idea. So this is part of the boring parts of the game, but it's also a lot of part of the game that a lot of people have trouble with. So Stonehilt's Slayers, we're going to go to E for equipment. Now you notice they have no uniform, and that's true, they don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a uniform. So we're going to go to N, Uniforms, and we're going to add a new one, and we're going to call it, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it, I guess we'll call it Stonehilt, because this is a uniform that's going to be specific to this squad, because the reason why it's going to be specific is because the squad should have matching armor, but the weapons are going to be up in the air. As we mentioned, they're going to use whatever weapon they're best with. So the Stonehilt set is going to first include a robe, a cloak, and under helm, we're going to have a hood. And all of those things under material are going to be leather. And those should all exist, so they should go put those on. Okay. And actually, while we're here and doing this, we might as well also give them leather mittens, although those are going to go on over their armor, not under. Alright, now here's a problem. We currently do not have any socks. At least not that I've mass-produced for military purposes. And the problem with socks is you can't make them out of leather. So, and I don't have a clothier at this time. That's something, we have plenty of cloth. I could create one. I just need to do that. So we're just going to go with just regular socks. So that is what all of the dwarves are wearing as like their base layer. Okay? So the robe, the cloak, the hood, and the mittens. I'm not going to go crazy with 15 cloaks. One cloak's enough. So now we're going to start, and we're going to, from the top down, we're going to set up their metal armor. So for helms, we're going to have a helm, of course. For armor, we're going to have a mail shirt and a breastplate. For the legs, we're going to have greaves. For the gloves, we're going to have gauntlets. For the boots, we're going to have high boots. For the shield, we're going to have a shield. And for the weapon, we're going to leave that. We're going to give each one of them a weapon based on what they need. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to give everyone... Nah, we're just going to leave it. This is going to be fine, because if I ever have to update this, it'll go back. I was going to give everybody a hammer, and then just change the few that don't have, or that already have weapon skill and something else, but that means if I ever come back and change this in any way, and then reset it, they're going to go back to getting hammers, and I don't want to deal with it. So, Let's start with material. Well, the mail shirt is going to be... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do any material right now. Well, actually, that's wrong. I am. I'm going to do metal. Just so they don't pick up anything wood or stupid like that. But right now, since we don't have a full set of steel or iron, anything, I'm just going to want them to use the best metal they can find. Now, the problem with this might be if they pick a crappy metal, like, say, you can do a shield out of wood, but I always think it's fun to do it out of metal. So you could pick a crappy metal, like, say, copper, for your weapon. And then you get used to it. Your dwarf loves it, falls in love with that weapon, and you say, no, you want to use the silver hammer or the steel sword, and the dwarf gets mad because they don't get to use their favorite weapon. We'll deal with that when we get to it. Alright, so we're good. This uniform is for real. And we're going to wear this in place of clothing, not over the clothing. And we're solid. So that's done. So now we go to equipment, and we go to the Stonehilt Slayers, and we assign a uniform, and that uniform we're going to assign is Stonehilt, and we're going to do Shift-Enter, which makes it good for the whole squad. So now if you scroll down, you'll notice they all say Stonehilt. Perfect. So then, we want to go here, and we want to take a look at them. There they are. Just to remind ourselves, okay, so Logan Stonehilt is a spear dwarf. I don't even think we have a spear, to be honest with you. I don't think I've made one. So Doodlejack, Gregor, and Logan are going to sit idle, but Tettletod, Juris, all these other guys are going to be getting... I hope these are the first three. We'll find out. All these guys are going to get silver warhammers. Warhammer. Oh, no, I have one. Good. So we're caught up. So now everybody should have a warhammer here, except for the top three. And they... once I build weapons for them, we'll get the weapons that we need. I'm so sad that nobody is shooting anything. Do I have to reset? That's not what I wanted to do. Do I have to reset their supplies? No, that's fine. Ammunition? Nope, metal bolts. Absolutely. So they should be ready to go. They just simply apparently do not have any bolts. And I have told them to go home, right? Yes, I have. They just don't want to. They're looking at the goblins and they're saying, wow, the FPS is really slow. No, that's not what they're saying. That's what I'm saying. Because it is. Like, obscenely so. Still haven't seen anybody use the well. That's a real bummer. I guess that's another thing too. It's actually filling up to one below its normal height. So I guess the only way to make it work would be to dig like a trench, and then it'll fill up. But that's just terrible. It's very bad. I don't think that should impede the well's function. What's going on? Alaric cancels pickup equipment. Interrupted by a beak dog. Just pick up the equipment, Alaric. Wow, FPS is just out of control here. I guess because there's... Does that say 871? Oh my god. Are you seeing this? Are you all seeing this? This is insane. No wonder the FPS This is a mess. 871 invaders? And not a one of them is elite. Oh my god. Where are all these creatures? Oh my god. This is insanity. This is pure, unadulterated insanity. Look at all these beak dogs and people. This is nuts. And I can't even open up the gate to move them closer because there's, as you can see here, there's a beak dog right in front. And my melee squads are too busy getting dressed, essentially. That is something. Have you ever seen this many attackers? Even in Sandpillar, we never got anything like this. 800 invaders. I'm surprised the game's even working, honestly. I'm surprised the dwarves are even able to move from one square to another. Wow. Wow, as cool as it is to look at, I really do feel like I need to turn invaders down to like 400 or something in the setup, because Sandpillar could have handled this, because they all would have basically fallen. Half of them would fall to their deaths, crash on the spikes, go across the trap. But in this fortress, since our only way of actually fighting enemies is one by one with our military, this is going to suck for me, because they're going to stay here for like 2 seasons, and I'm not going to be able to get anything done, because it's going to be moving so incredibly slow. And that's kind of a problem. What's wrong, Tristan? Needs empty food storage item. Oh, that's alright. We'll wait till the drinks go down a bit. This is something else. Alright, they've kind of moved away. I'm afraid what'll happen here, but let's pull the lever. Might as well end the video on a bout of sheer insanity. This is bad. This is so bad. You can see just how slow the bolts. You can even see the bolts flying in the air in individual squares. 800 attackers, and not one of them is a master or as elite. Come on. There we go. All right, now that they're down, it'll take long enough to get them back up. So let's just set that up. Melee dwarves, get ready. Actually, let's do it now, please. There we go. High priority. And here they come. Definitely some of these guys are going to get in. Okay. Who's the suicidal one here? Patricia Longspear. What are you doing, Patricia? Go to wrestling demonstration. That's not outside. That's not outside, Patricia. And now you're standing on our drawbridge. What? What in the world? Patricia Longspear is going to die. There's not much more I could say about that. She's going to die. That is not a good time. There's only one way you can save her, and that is by military. Patricia Longspear. There we go. We are going to, unfortunately, kick her out. You are now a civilian. It doesn't matter. She couldn't make it. What is going on here now? Simon Ulander? Okay, this is a huge problem. I thought it'd be fun, to open the gates, but we're going to lose these two. I mean, I was thinking I can't even reinforce them because eventually these gates are going to come up. Okay, this is interesting. We have Logan Stonehilt. He's actually pretty good, but he doesn't have a weapon. Patricia Longspear, who we are going to re-enlist. Gonna take a moment to find her. See, part of playing Dwarf Fortress, like part of the fun of it, I guess, is you're not just fighting the enemies, you're also fighting Dwarf Fortress, because the UI is such a tragedy that, like in this situation, since this wall here that I was trying to build hasn't been built, these two might get it in their minds to jump down there, for example. But right now I actually might use that to my advantage. So Bone Queen's Bolts. Kill. No, you don't want to kill them? Or a rectangle. There we go. So we have 3 beak dogs. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We could handle 3 beak dogs. Let's see what happens. We took out one of them. This is sure exciting. Took out 2 of them, and they're all done. Okay. So the next thing we have to do, unfortunately, is remove a wall here. We always keep doing this because I wasn't smart enough to separate. All gates are by the same lever. And normally that's a good thing. And you might say, why is that a good thing? Well, because that way, say if the same dwarf gets assigned, he'll pull one lever, then the second, and the third. So it'll take a long time for the third one. But, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it an end to the episode. Crisis averted. No one died. Patricia Longspear, who I thought for sure was a goner, managed to make it. The leader, Logan Stonehilt, of this squad, crossed the bridge just before it went up. Otherwise, he would have had a bad day. We'll end by looking at the reports. Proserpina is shooting, but we want to look at the beak dog. The beak dog, the Simon bashes the beak dog in the head with his bronze crossbow, and the injured part is crushed. So Simon Ulander crushed the head of one of the beak dogs, opening up an artery. The next beak dog was also bashed in the head and had his brains bashed out by Simon Ulander. And the third one was killed by Patricia Longspear, who punched it in the head with her left hand, and the injured part collapses. So she caved in its skull with her hand. Good job, Patricia Longspear. Good job, Simon Ulander. And I'm just glad to sign off without any dwarf deaths on my conscience. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Marcus Aurelius. This is the wacky wild world of Foresthome in the land of Enthador, where apparently goblin war parties can number as much as 800. I hope you enjoyed this, and I highly expect a bunch of comments of people saying, oh my god, I've never seen that many goblins at once. And neither have I. And neither is my computer, poor thing. God rest its soul. Have a good one.